Good evening, everyone. With great gratitude in my heart, I'm so thankful for each one that has come out tonight. I can tell you I am overwhelmed. My lady and I, Jeannie, 48 years ago, over 48 years ago, we started on our journey as a married couple. And we'd always been in church, but we never anticipated anything quite like this happening in our lives. God is so good. And may you find peace, rest, and joy and love in your soul tonight. And may you have a spiritual experience while you're here. Let God touch your life and uplift you in such a special way. They only give me 3 minutes. That's very difficult for me. All right. I'm glad to have my family tonight. All my children are here. Their wives, all my grandchildren are here, and I'm so thankful for that. There's nothing better for a man than to have a family, and so I'm thankful for my family. And I want to say again, I'm so thankful for my lady, Jeannie Horn. Without her, I would be nothing. She is one of the greatest helpmates, assistants, one that walks beside me in such a wonderful way and supports me. And I always tell people that God doesn't ever talk to me. But when he does, he sounds a lot like my wife's voice. So anyway, she keeps me straight. 5.5 years ago, Larry Watkins is co-founder of this ministry, and Judge Rimnall called Larry and said, we need a house for 2 ladies. And Larry went and rented a 2-bedroom house on Cherry Street, and we put those 2 ladies in it, and that was the beginning of 4 Rivers. Never did we dream. We had great dreams and big dreams, but I didn't envision anything in our community like tonight. And our goal has always been that our community become drug-free, and I think by the support you see tonight that is going to happen in our community. And I thank you for coming out tonight. I'm going to tell 3 short stories tonight. Eric, come up here. Eric is one of our transitional residents at 4 Rivers. Eric came to us about 4 months ago. He came out of Safe P. That's a drug rehabilitation center that you can't leave. The state puts you there. And he moved in our facility, and immediately our hearts connected. And Eric is like one of our children, as all of our clients are. And tonight, Eric is working. He has a great job. I went brain dead. It's not a job as just a minimum wage job. That's what I'm trying to get out. Not a minimum wage job. He has a great job, works very hard. His employer calls me all the time and brags about him. And we're just so thankful for Eric. And the other night, he told me, he said, I told him at work, I got to get home. And so that's what 4 Rivers are. We're home. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Arthur.
This is Jared. Jared has been with us a year. And Jared is a wonderful, great guy. We love him very much. Jared had a little hiccup during his recovery. And that's all right with us. That's what we're used to. So we worked through that. And today, Jared is going to college. He is going to be a chef. All of his life, he said You know, you can buy a cookbook, but you hardly can find a chef book. Because chefs are creative, right? And Jared and I have talked a lot, and he said his dream was to be artistic. So he decided to use that artistic ability and desire and become a chef. And someday we're going to eat his meals, and we're going to see him on TV.
Hopefully.
Martha. This is Martha. Martha came to Four Rivers last September, addicted and all that. Tuesday night, when Jenny and I were leaving, she said, I would like to talk to y'all. She went to a funeral to one of her, what was it? Her great aunt. And her sister was telling her, there's something different about you. Said, you just appear different. You look different. What has happened to you? She said, I can't quite put my finger on it, but you have a glow about you now. And that's God, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
All right. So God has changed her life. And that's what happens at Four Rivers every day. God bless you.
Thank you. That's a hard act to follow. I'm not sure I can do that. I need a little more room up here. Can I give you that? Thank you. First, I am amazed. I'm amazed, and I'm proud to be in North Texas tonight. I'm proud of this area for the number of people that came out for this charity tonight. It's a real tribute to this area. It's a tribute to the churches in this area, to the directors and the leadership of Four Rivers, and to the board of directors. But to have this kind of support for this charity, it really humbles me, takes me back. You ought to be very proud. There's not many communities that can say that they have this kind of support. First, let me say that I know it's a school night, and if I'm talking to my wife for more than 20 minutes, she normally falls asleep. So I'll try to make this short so everybody can get home. I'd like to stand up here the rest of the night and tell you about the Texas Rangers, but I'm afraid that that's not why they asked me to speak. I'll just say this, in all sincerity, I think we have a better team than we had the last 2 years. We've got some young pitchers that need to step up, and some guys need to repeat what they did last year, but if we can stay healthy, I think we got a real shot at getting back and maybe third 3 times the charm. Several years ago, I was in Atlanta, Georgia at a business meeting, and there was a luncheon speaker who was a retired Methodist minister. And he told a story, and he told it as if it were true, and well, we all know preachers don't lie, so I got to believe it was true. But he told a story, he said, for those of you that think that preachers don't have arguments with their wives, he said, you're wrong. He said, you need to come to my house and listen to my wife and I argue occasionally. And the worst kind of argument is the one that started the night before and you get up in the morning and it's still going on. Well, that morning my wife wasn't speaking to me. She was still mad. And she finally turned to me and said, I'm not going to let you ruin my day. So she went and put on her favorite dress. But she couldn't reach the zipper. So she backed up to me and pointed. And I got a hold of the zipper and the devil got a hold of me. And you think she was mad before. When she had to get a pair of scissors and cut herself out of her new dress, she was plumb hostile. Now, my wife teaches 3rd grade, and it's hard to get your hostilities out when you're in school, and she came home from school still upset. Walked through the garage to see me laying under my car, working on my car, and she reached down and grabbed a hold of my zipper, and she went like that. And then she stormed in the house to see me sitting at the kitchen table. When she tried to explain to me what she'd done, and I tried to explain to her that my neighbor was helping me work on my car, and we went out and drugged my neighbor from out from underneath my car, because when she grabbed his zipper, he raised up and banged his head and knocked himself out. Tonight I'd like to talk about what's a friend. For those of you that have seen the movie Tombstone, there was a very insightful line in that movie. Val Kilmer played a part of Doc Holliday. And he just saved Wyatt Earp's life by risking his own. And one of the guys said, man, Doc, why did you do that? And he said, Wyatt Earp's my friend. And the guy said, man, I got a lot of friends. He said, I don't. I just got one. Christ had 12 friends. 3 close, 1 best. and they change the world. If you ever ask yourself, how many friends do you have? If you've answered a lot, you probably haven't thought it through very hard. If you truly understand what it takes to have a friend and what it takes to keep a friend, it will change your life. Real friendship requires intimacy, depth, and commitment. You can't say, I have a lot of friends, because no one has enough time or emotional space to be close friends with more than just a few. How do we know the difference between an acquaintance and a friend? A true friend. He gives unconditional love, someone who simply loves you for no good reason. No strings attached. They will do their best to help you just because. Will try to help you right now. When you call for help, the answer is yes. An acquaintance merely wishes you well. When you call an acquaintance, their standard answer is, I'll pray for you, or keep in touch. Your friend wants you to succeed and seeks to empower you as you pursue your dreams. They're the chisel that helps carve away those areas of your life that holds you back from fulfilling your dreams, holds you accountable for your goals. They have earned an all-access backstage pass to your life. Is someone who knows the song in your heart and can sing it back to you when you've forgotten the words. Let me say that again. Someone who knows the song in your heart and can sing it back to you when you've forgotten the words. Has no ulterior motives, is always loyal, always on your side, and is always true blue all the way through. Is a trusted keeper, knows you well enough to know your secrets and keep them. And you know their character well enough to know that they will never betray you. Has forged an indelible impression on your heart and soul and has altered your life in a positive way. Brings out the best in you and shares your core values, the important pillars that support your life. If you hold to a Christian belief and values, a true friend, as the scripture says, you must be unequally yoked together. Someone can be a friend, not a true friend, but if they don't hold the same beliefs, they don't know where you're coming from. Will go out of their way to do things for you that would never cross the mind of a mere acquaintance. Doesn't need to be anyone other than who you are, but is glad to see you become more. There's a price that comes with being a true friend. If showing up is 80% of success, then James Taylor's song is dead on. You just call on my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. You've got a friend. It really does sum it up. In order to have a friend, we must understand you must be a friend. And I would tell you, as I was preparing this talk, I started challenging myself to some of my friends. And have I been a friend? Because there is a price. There's always a price. Price of commitment, price of caring. And it made me look inside of myself to make sure that I had lived up to the requirements of being a friend. Who are your friends? Who's influenced you and affected your life over the years the most? Who calls you regularly to see how you're doing? Who invests in your friendship? Who picks you up when you're down? Who can you trust in a time of crisis? Who keeps you accountable? And who celebrates with you? A want ad for a friend. Allows me to be myself and loves me for it. Affirms my best qualities, especially when I'm feeling insecure. Listens without judging me or trying to fix me. Gives me the benefit of the doubt. Gives me a break when I'm having a bad day. Knows what I like. Loves me regardless of my past, spends time with me just because they enjoy my company, speaks well of me when I'm not in a room, speaks the truth to me when no one else will, never shames me, diminishes me, or makes me feel small, becomes excited about what I'm excited about, and celebrates my victories. Why did I pick this subject matter tonight? Four Rivers needs a friend. They need your time, your money, and your commitment. Think about the cost required to be a friend, and that's what I'm asking tonight for Four Rivers. You be the judge if you're truly a friend of Four Rivers or just an acquaintance. Thank you. Have a good evening.